Joins me now from Capitol Hill, and Luke has two members of Congress with him right now, one being the aforementioned John Lewis. Luke.
Yeah, hey there, Thomas, and we're here with Congressman John Lewis and Congresswoman Judy Chu, two members who have taken part in this sit-in, and it's being led by Congressman Lewis, so we'll start off with him off the top. Congressman Lewis, you are a civil rights icon. Your stories are remarkable. Beaten within 1 inch of your life, it has been said. How important is this moment for you, and what are you hoping to achieve?
Well, this is an important moment. I never dreamed that one day, after coming to Congress, I would have to sit in on the floor of the House, sit down and occupy the well of the House. We've been waiting for a long time for the leadership to bring a piece of legislation, or maybe more than one piece, to deal with gun violence. There are too many people, too many children, babies, teachers, our mothers, our fathers, our sisters and brothers, people going out to dance and have fun, to die because of gun violence. We're going to continue to sit in. You know, more than 50 years ago, I sat in, got arrested, I went to jail. Now to come to Congress and have to sit in again, just trying to get someone to sit down with us, negotiate about passing progressive legislation to deal with gun violence. It is so much, almost too much.
You've had a distinguished congressional career. You've been here for many terms. Many of your colleagues who share your experience have never seen anything like this. The floor of the House of Representatives taken over by a party, literally using tactics that you developed during the Civil Rights Movement. How extraordinary is it that this is what it has taken for you to have to do, to literally sit on the floor of the House before you get a vote?
Well, it's out of the ordinary, but sometimes you move by what I call the spirit of history to find a way to get in the way, to create the climate, the environment to get something done.
Congresswoman Chu, what would you say is the fundamental reason as to why it has gotten to this point? Why is it that you have to literally sit on the floor? There are no cameras, there are no microphones. It is as organic as it can get. The reports are coming out via Twitter, via reporters in there in the gallery. It's almost like we took a step back in time.
We've seen massacre after massacre. I'll never forget when there was the shooting of 14 in the district next to mine in San Bernardino. And then I continued to see massacres. But when 49 people were murdered in Orlando and nothing done about it, and the only response were moments of silence, well, so many of us said, enough is enough. We have to do something about this.
Congressman Lewis, where does this go? Do you stay on the floor indefinitely?
Well, we will continue to occupy the floor, the well of the House, until someone said we're prepared to negotiate, we are prepared to put a bill on the floor.
Congresswoman Chu, in terms of the two votes that you guys want to see, background checks and no fly, no buy, if it were to be brought forward, do you believe you could get some substantial Republican support?
We hope that Republicans will do the right thing. We actually know that the American people are vastly in support of this. Even members of the NRA are in support of these kinds of expanded checks if it would keep the people safe. And that's all that we're asking for, common sense steps forward that would keep people safe and free from gun violence.
And Congressman Lewis, lastly, put this in history for me. You are the civil rights veteran. You've been on Capitol Hill for a long time. You've seen this body work. You've seen it not work. You probably recall a time when both sides were friendlier to one another, where they were more willing to at least allow themselves to be heard. Where does this stack up for you in terms of what you've been able to accomplish in this life?
Well, I'm just trying to help out. If I can just help along with my friends and my colleagues in the Congress and the American people to move us down that road so we can get legislation passed to save lives,
I'm going to ask a question on behalf of Thomas Roberts in studio. Thomas, what's your question? I'll relay it to the congressman or woman.
Right now, it's what are they doing with their Senate colleagues to talk about procedure that would allow those blocked amendments to move forward? Or is this just to start a new conversation between both the House and the Senate about where they can move in consensus?
So the question from Thomas in New York, Congressman Lewis, is what can you guys do about the two stalled amendments? Do you think this is a way to actually force a vote? Are you working in unison with your Senate colleagues, many of whom have come over and been supportive of this effort?
Well, we will continue to occupy the floor, the House. In doing so, we hope the American people will join in and say to their members, bring the bills to the floor.
Congresswoman Chu, do you think you can work in conjunction with the Senate on this and sort of seeing what is possible?
I was so encouraged to see the members of the Senate come over. They are eager to work together and to make sure that these bills do come to the floor.
And you're not going anywhere. You will not be moved. As that old Mississippi John Hurt song, you won't be moved here.
No, we're like trees planted by the rivers of water, and we shall not be moved.
Congressman John Lewis, Congresswoman Judy Chu, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.